Okay, welcome back to members of 121 Community Church in Grapevine, Texas, and an ongoing study in existentialism in the novel by Reine entitled She Died, Then Showed Me. This is our penultimate lesson. We're going to look at chapters 23 and 24, and then only one more lesson to go, which will complete the novel. So this is our penultimate lesson. Let's go to block 1 and get started. Okay, block 1. Partitioning the sky of promise. Partition freedom. Peyton tells the boys at the bus stop for school, sometimes we lose a lot, but it frees us up to start something new, like the newness of our being bound together in artist blood. Next, Peyton heads off to the courthouse. Partitioned fragmentation in need of healing. Harlow's letter to Lexi is authenticated. Peyton wondered if she had inherited her parents' sins. The judge actually dismisses the court after hearing all the evidence, and the judge tells Peyton and Lexi that she will inform their lawyers at a later date concerning her verdict, and the lawyers can then convey that verdict to Peyton and Lexi. Outside the courthouse, Peyton feels that reality is fragmented. Partitioned perseverance. Peyton is in need of Reine. Reine is Greek for peace, but it literally translates healing of fragmentation. Peyton is in need of healing of fragmentation. She confesses to herself, the only way out is through. Next, she heads to the ranch for the archery competition. The archery competition. Partitioned energia actualization. Peyton offers for Kelsey Sr. to stay at the ranch over the weekend as her guest, with his grandson, little William Kelsey, who is taking riding lessons on the ranch. Willie Bearclaw shows up, and Mikey confesses Papa Bear is real. For Mikey, a spiritual being is reality, the genuine reality. Remember, Mikey is the spirit child, and he says, Papa Bear is real. Bearclaw greets Peyton with what he calls good energy, good energia. And then Mikey calls Bearclaw the sky partitioner, the sky partitioner. He calls Bearclaw the sky partitioner who partitions the promises in the sky. Bearclaw recognizes Laylee as the guardian angel, and Bearclaw infers to Peyton that they had met in a prior lifetime. Again, you've got the very ancient Ute Indian mysticism here, and obviously Bearclaw represents that ancient Indian mysticism, and little Mikey, the little fifth grader, little spirit child, is very much in tune with the reality of the realm of spirit. Let's go on to block 2. We've looked at the partitioning of the sky of promise, and it has been partitioned into freedom, into the need for healing, into perseverance, and into energia actualization. Now we go to, after promise, we go to atonement in block 2. Now we take a look. Remember, we have to look at all these lively metaphors for the development of the main character, Peyton, and what it means for her to become a genuine, true, new being, a genuinely newly reframed self. Block 2, how can we understand atonement as an invested contest? All right, block 2. With an attitude of warrior in a spiritual battle. Peyton gifts Laylee with an outfit she describes as that should only be worn by a warrior princess. Laylee confesses to being attracted to Willie Bearclaw. She has a physical and spiritual attraction that she says is very powerful, with that which must be wholly embraced. It is not simply external atonement. Atonement is never only external. Atonement must always be accepted and embraced subjectively. And we know that, as believers, we have to accept and internalize the atonement of Christ. We have to have faith. Atonement is never only external. It's not only objective, it is objective and subjective. It must be received, it must be internalized, it must be embraced. Adler arrives and Peyton greets him with a genuine embrace of love. But then surprisingly, Margot shows up. Of course, Coda is all excited about that. But Peyton warns Margot, do not hurt Coda. She warns Margot, do not hurt Coda. Secularism arrives in Margot, and it arrives to threaten the significance of atonement, but Peyton rebukes secularism. Peyton rebukes secularism with wholehearted participation. It's not only Kelsey Sr. and Laylee who are the participants. Actually, all become participants who invest in the contest. Everyone who invests in the contest becomes a participant. Kelsey Sr. ends up winning the contest 4 out of 7, but by a very narrow margin. For Peyton, this has become an atonement. This is the way it's worded. It's become an atonement of blood and gold because she has invested her life's blood into this contest to hope for resolution of her problems, and she's invested her life's earnings into this contest, hoping for resolution. She has subjectively invested everything, her entire self. But we know promise can only be truly fulfilled through atonement. The promises in Block 1, they can't be fulfilled. Resolution can't be found unless you pass through atonement, and atonement demands acceptance, participation, and fully embracing atonement with the whole self. We know that as believers. We are to embrace the atonement in Christ. We are to stand at the foot of the cross and embrace the atonement offered in Christ, to receive it fully. Now, Block 3 is very, very good to wrap up these 2 chapters. The Kairos-Time for truth. Very important, very important. Very important Block 3 here, okay? We've gone from promise through atonement, and now we reach Kairos-Time for truth. Kairos-Time. Adler presents Peyton with the repaired mechanical clock of Sorensen's, and then symbolically that tells us that the Kairos-Time, the opportune time for resolution, has arrived. He also gifts Peyton with a pair of riding gloves. Remember, he said they needed more sacred time together. Peyton then kisses him with, in the way it's worded in the novel, open invitation. In other words, she's ready to commit to Adler. Aletheia truth. Adler discovered a hidden compartment in the clock when he was working on it, and it contained the hidden letters from Sorensen, Peyton's father, that she's been looking for. And they cover a range of 21 years ever since Harlow's attempted suicide. Peyton takes the letters, and where does she go? She drives to see Royce, her godmother, to read the letters in the truth of the tea room. Remember, the tea room is a figurative, symbolic metaphor because we know that Royce always tells the truth. She can be trusted to tell the truth. It may be kind of rough, it might be abrupt, but she's going to tell it like it is. And so that has always been, from the very beginning of the novel, the tea room where truth is ironed out. Now, going through the letters, Peyton learns that her mother did not die from the gunshot wound. Instead, she ended up in a coma in a private medical facility. She finds out that her mother is still alive in a coma in a private medical facility, but alive and in a coma. Soteria, salvation through revealed truth. How does salvation come to us? Salvation comes to us in the revelatory truth of Christ. And in this novel, we've got soteria, salvation through revealed truth. Peyton now has learned that her mother is the stuck woman that Mikey kept talking about. Stuck woman in a coma at the doorway to the afterlife. She also learns that a trust fund had been established to pay all medical expenses, and that these funds would revert to Peyton upon the death of her mother. She also gets word that the lawsuit was found in Lexi's favor, which she thought it would be, but check the amount out, in the amount of $920,000. Just call it $1 million. The opportune time has shaped up in a very unique way with this discovery of all this truth, but there really hasn't been a resolution yet. So we haven't reached resolution, but we have reached the genuine revealed truth. Now she knows the truth about the state of her mother in a coma. So where will Peyton turn next? We know she's going to visit her mother in this private medical facility. So the tension has built up tremendously in 23 and 24, but we get the truth, okay? We finally get the truth. And we get the revelation of a Peyton Chase who is all in on faith. She's risking everything. She's pouring all of her life into the possibility of atonement. And she's hoping for some kind of resolution through atonement, but she's all in. She's all in with Adler. She's all in with whatever she needs to do. She's all in with her paintings and the art exhibit. She's decided to pour all of her life into seeking a resolution to these problems that have amounted. But the key point here in these two chapters is that we don't see the final resolution. The resolution is on the horizon. It remains a promise not yet fulfilled, and yet it's a promise Peyton believes she will find. She believes she has invested everything in the task at hand. She has taken a huge step of faith, and it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. The house has been listed in Mendocino. Physical, finite reality, that's not the reality for Peyton, not anymore. Peyton has discovered, along with little Mikey, the realm of spirit. And she's had all kinds of characters holding up this mirror of the realm of spirit to her. Bear Claw, little Mikey, who is what? Sacred Eagle. Little Sacred Eagle has been holding up a mirror to Peyton. Bear Claw greets her with a favorable energia. And all of this is a spiritual offering of atonement. And Peyton is all in, we learn in these 2 chapters, but we don't get the fulfilled promise yet. Fulfilled promise is on the horizon, and we've got chapters 25, 26, and 27 coming up next lesson. We'll have a total of 20 lessons for this novel. This is lesson 19, so next lesson we will conclude, and we will find the fulfillment of promise, and it's going to be interesting to see, how does Samar Reine bring this to a conclusion? How is the visit going to go? We know that Peyton's going to visit her mother in a coma, but we've got the truth now. Now we've found the truth. That's going to wrap up chapters 23 and 24, and next lesson we will wrap up with lesson 20, and it will conclude the novel next time. That wraps up chapters 23 and 24.